Hi guys, this is Jess, and we're gonna do this hand clutch pattern today in the video. This is what it looks like, finished, and I added some lining on the inside just for fun. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so you're gonna start by getting your t-shirt yarn and do a slip knot onto your hook. And you're going to chain 14. Okay, and now we're going to do single crochets across, starting in the second chain from the hook. We're going to do 13 across, but we're going to go into the third back loop. So this is where we would usually go, but we're going to twist our chain, and there's this extra little hump right here. You can see all these humps, and we're going to go into that space. So skipping the first one, going into the second, twisting the chain, we're going to go into the third back loop, and we're going to do this all the way across. Okay, and now we're going to chain 1, turn, and we're going to do 13 stitches across. 13 single crochets. Okay, that's row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to continue to do 13 stitches across for rows 3 and 4. Okay, so I've come to the end of row 4, and now what I need to do is I need to crochet around the entire piece. So I'm going to turn my work like this, and I need to put one single crochet into the end of each row here. So we have 4 rows, so we need to do one single crochet to coordinate with each row. So I'm going to start by putting one single crochet here. I'm not going to go into the same space because I don't want a hole. So I'm just going to find another loop that is kind of at the same height of this, and I'm going to make a stitch. And then I'm going to find a good loop for this row. And for this row. And my last row, I need to put 2 stitches. That way it creates a corner. And turn my work. Now I'm working on the bottom chain that we initially made. This is the reason why we go into the third back loop, because look, now there's a perfect braid. We know exactly where to go in, and our work will look very symmetrical. So because we did 13 stitches, we need to do 13 stitches across. So I'm just gonna do my 13 stitches. Oops. Okay, so now I've gone across, and I'm going to turn my work, and now I need to put one single crochet that corresponds with each row. But for the first one, we're going to put 2 as our corner. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to hide my tail and put 2 in the same stitch. And then I'm going to put 1 in the next to coordinate with this row. And 1 in the next. And then I'm going to put 2 in this last one here. And hide my tail. And then I can cut that later. Okay, so now we're at the top again. And we're going to do 13 across because 13 was our count. So into every stitch. And then for our very last stitch, we have to have our other corner. We're going to go into the same space as our very, very first stitch. So here's our corner over here. 1, 2, 3. This is where we started. We're going to go into the same space below. Like this. Okay, and that gives us 38 stitches. And now what we're going to do from here is we're just going to slip stitch around the entire thing. So going into the next, we're going to slip stitch. And we have done 37, and for the very last one, we're going to cut our yarn. And we're going to do an invisible slip stitch join to the first one that we started with. So take your tapestry needle and you're going to thread your yarn. And what we do is we go into the first one we had underneath it. And then you're going to go back to the last one that you did vertically inside and through. Okay. Okay, so this is our finished base, and now what we're going to do is get out our yarn again, and we're going to make a slip knot onto our hook, and then we're going to move to the side of our work, and this is the slip stitching that we did. If you turn it like this, you see another braid, and this is the previous row of single crochet. So there are 2 braids. This one we want to leave visible. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the back loop only of our previous row of stitches. And if you turn it again, there is another big thick loop back here. We want to go into there as well. So we're doing the back stitch only of this braid on the side, and then this other loop in the back, and that just secures the base really well. So we're going to start out on the side so that our seam is less visible, and you're just going to go ahead and make a single crochet. So you go in to the back, and I'm picking up another loop back here, yarn over, come out, and make a single crochet. Okay, and then you can tie this in later. There's your first one. And then we're just going to go around and make single crochets all the way around. So into the next stitch I have my back loop, and if you turn it to the back there's this third back loop. So we're going to go into both of those loops. And you're going to just keep going around into every stitch. Okay, go all the way around and I'll meet you back at the beginning. Okay, so we've come to the very end and we have 38 stitches because our very first one was a stitch, counts as a stitch. So now we're now going to put another single crochet into the very first one that we did here because we need to actually end on an odd number. Okay, that gives us 39 stitches. So now our very first stitch for the second row, we're just going to go ahead and go into it. This is called working in the round, and we're going to make a single crochet underneath these 2 loops right here. And adjust your yarn and put a stitch marker there. That will really help you out later. And then all the other stitches are just going to be alternating between a single crochet and a spike stitch. So in the next space here, we need to make a spike stitch. So we're going to go underneath our single crochet instead of underneath the top 2 loops. We go underneath the whole stitch, pull up to the height of our work, and then complete it. and that's a spike stitch. And now we need to go into the next stitch. So this is our next one. Make sure you don't go into the same one you just went into. So the spike kind of covers up that stitch right there. Now you're going to go into the top 2 loops and make a regular single crochet. And then in the next one you're going to do a spike. In the next a single crochet. And you're going to just continue to alternate all the way around until we get to the beginning, and I'll just meet you back there. Okay, so I've come all the way around and I have done 39 stitches, counting my very first one, of course. And I have done a spike where there was a single crochet and a single crochet where there was a spike. So now I've got to my first one. I'm going to take this out, and you can see that it's a single crochet, so I need to make a spike stitch. And then I'm just going to put my stitch marker right back in there. Okay. All right. And then you're just going to alternate. So as you see, there's a spike stitch, so I need to do a single crochet. And then in the next one, there's a single crochet, so I need to do a spike. And that's pretty much all it is all the way around. Okay? So you're going to complete this whole side of the bag, the sides, by going around and around and around, working in the round, doing your single crochets and your spikes all the way until the end of round 10. So we will get back to each other once we finish that. Okay, so now I have worked all my rows and I'm at the very end, and I have actually ended on a spike stitch. So I want to end on a single crochet instead. So I'm just going to do one more single crochet over here. This is just going to make it look a little bit smoother because now I'm going to be doing my slip stitches all the way around. So go ahead and slip stitch all the way around. Whoops. And I'm going to put a stitch marker here just so that I remember where my first one is. And I'm going to do 2 rows of slip stitches. So for my second row of slip stitching, well, I'm going to do one more slip stitch here where my marker was. Now I'm going to just go into the back loops for this second round of slip stitches. So instead of going underneath both loops, I'm going to go into the back. So I'm going to go through there like this, all the way around just into the back loops. Okay, so I've done my 2 rows and I'm just going to leave my bag aside. And then I have taken I've taken yarn from my same bobbin just on the other end. And now I'm going to start working the loop. So with the loop, we're just going to chain 20. Okay, and then I'm going to just slip stitch into my 3rd back loops of the chain. So I'm going to skip this first stitch here, and I'm going to go into the second, turning it, and I'm going to go into the back 3rd loop, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. First one's kind of tough. Get some more yarn. Okay, and I'm just going to go into every one of these. Okay, so I have made my thing here, and now I'm just going to cut this, leaving a really long tail, pulling this through, and this is going to be my loop closure, like this. So I accidentally did not leave myself a long tail originally. You're supposed to do that, just so that you can sew it in easily. So now what we're going to do is take the bag, and it doesn't matter which side you do this on, either this way or this way. So let's do it this way. You're going to just kind of find the center of the bag, and you're going to place this in the center, and I kind of like to flip it like this so that this is the outside that shows when I loop it, but you can do whatever. And then you're going to basically take this like this, place it in the center, and you're going to sew this with your tapestry needle to the middle of the bag. Okay, and it's important to get it in between these two slip stitch rows. Just try to do that, and then it's going to basically loop down like this. So actually, I would just say to secure it in a good place where you want it to eventually end up. It's kind of stretchy, so I guess the lower the better, but yeah. Okay, so I've kind of secured this really quickly to just demonstrate it to you. So that's on one side. Now you're going to take your doorknob, and this is mine, and you can see that there was a screw. I took that out, of course. And now you just kind of want to line up where you're going to put this knob. Put this, like this, and then we're going to say this is the center. So let me show you a little bit closer. So I just like to go in between these first two loops and just kind of find a space in there, and you're gonna have to fight with it a little bit to get the knob on the other side. All right, so that's in there. You can see in the back, this is what it looks like. And now what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do our slip stitches around. So let's go back now to where we left off. We're going to pick up here, take out your stitch marker, and now we need to do 2 more rows of slip stitching going into the back loops. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay. So I'm now at the end, and I have cut my yarn, and I'm just going to thread it through to end it. So I'm going to take this, and here's my next stitch. I'm just going to go through the center of it and come out on the other side. Maybe just come out through here and pull it through. Okay, and this is how it's going to look when it's ended. I'm just going to thread this through to secure it. Okay, and that is how you'll end the bag. Okay, and this is how the bag will look. Of course, you gotta, tie in all your ends and everything, just like this, and this will loop over to close. Thanks for watching.